is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We're doing a guide on the new points for Grey Knights. This is the first video coming back from ACO, so I'm going to do an ACO video. If you guys want to go check that out, talk about the end of ninth. A lot of guys that I played with over the weekend is just super excited for it. I got ups and downs about different kinds of armies. Some of my guys actually played Grey Knights and let me know what they thought about it. They played one game at 10th and kind of told me some strategies on how to move the models around and stuff. But we're going to go over specifically what point changes from old points to new points and kind of what list I was running prior and how many points it is now. And then we'll go over the differences on why the points increased and if it's going to be worth it bringing the same list or kind of changing it up to bring in more models rather than fewer models. We're basically psyker / not psyker custodes points now. So appreciate all the Patreons. If you guys have joined recently, we are fucking crushing it. The goal is 500 a month. Once we get up to that, we're at like 430 right now. A lot of Grandmasters are joining. A lot of competitive people are joining. If you guys are $1 a month joining, I appreciate you too. You guys get first access to these videos up on Patreon. So that's probably why a lot of people joined while I was at ACO, because I posted the Grey Knight Tactical video on Patreon for about 4 days because I forgot to post it on YouTube. So you guys, I appreciate you guys are awesome. So let's pull this up for you. I have the two comparisons for us right here just so we can go over both of them. Let me make myself smaller. Cool. So I already added it up. All right. So the points that I was running for Prescient for Grey Knights comes out to 2395. So the points did increase on almost everything across the board. But think about everything that we got for that. Being able to just kind of pick up 3 models every single turn, not have to roll psychic powers, everybody in the entire army getting a 2+ save, the stratagems being insane, being able to take models off the table, bring people back onto the table within 3 inches, get a sigil again, like they didn't take the sigil away. So there's a lot of stuff that we're trading for the points. So hopefully we're going to be more tankier now, which means the points have to increase. If we are tankier and the points didn't increase, it would be kind of busted. So I do agree that the points should be raised. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna get some practice games in this week, this weekend, and then moving forward, we're gonna be showing up some new battle reports on the channel because it hasn't been one because I didn't really want to post 9th edition. It's kind of pointless. So first one, the ones that really stand out, will go from top to bottom, but Brother Captain, these are the old points over here. Brother Captain was 100 points. Now all these Demon Hammers are now gone, so we don't have to worry about those, but they're all basically 10 points a model. The Brother Captain went down 5 points. I think the Brother Captain, the Brother Champion I'm going to be running a lot, but the Brother Captain probably not going to be run as much. I'd rather be putting in Drago or Voldus or Librarian into my Terminator squads. And then the Captain Stern, I think, is definitely worth a try, especially with so much precision coming into this game. But Brother Captain Stern stayed exactly the same, except now he's playable. So that is a bonus for us. Brother Champion, 85 points, was 60 points. So what did he gain? He gained Fight First for the entire squad. So being able to have a Fight First on a 10-man strike unit that can kind of just come around all over the place. The thing with the Brotherhood Champion is he's still cheap for 85 points for what he does. As well as he, you can put a thing on them. So we're going to be running Sigil with him with a 10-man strike squad. That's what they tested out at ACO, and it worked unbelievable. So I think the Brotherhood Champion is definitely something that we should be looking at for 85 points. The Chaplain, I would just skip over. It lowered in points. Yeah, it lowered in points, but really you're bringing it just for a +1 to wound, which I'd rather bring Drago or somebody else that can make my Termi squad do what I want it to do. Then we got the Librarian. Librarian is 110 points, and it was 95 points. So it rose about, 15 points? So it going up 15 points, I think, is worth it because you don't have to cast powers anymore, and he did keep Vortex of Doom. and you can put him with a unit now. So him coming down just do on a 2+, 2d3 mortal wounds without even having to roll cast, no denies, any of that stuff. The only denial will be the 4 mortal wound save to psychic attacks or stuff like that. So there's going to be ideas of running an assassin to try and kill other psychers or other librarians that's stopping psychic weapons. So I'm going to be testing that out as well. But librarian is definitely still worth it for 110 points for what he can bring. And then he also gives us, I think, Feel No Pain for mortal wounds as well. The Tech Marine is 85 points. It was 70 points. So the Tech Marine went up about 15 points. He still gives us the +1 to hit. And he counts as a lone operative, so you don't actually have to bring a unit with him. So he didn't really have to go up. So, I mean, he's an option. I don't think we're going to be running 4 Dreadnoughts anytime soon. So you could leave him out. I think if you leave him out, because we're so fast, it's going to be hard for him to keep up with all of the vehicles in it. And we don't have to bring him anymore to do the prescient ability to get us 1 CP, because we lost that. And he was mainly that CP generating character. So now that we don't have that anymore, we don't have to bring him. Brotherhood Tech Marine Squad, or Terminator Squad, sorry, 225 points. Our old Terminator Squad was, where's our Terminators? Strike Squad, Terminator Squad down here. So 35 points a model. 35 times 5, 175 points. So this went up a ton. They gained +1 toughness and +1 built-in 4+ invuln save, which is kind of huge. So before, we used to have to try and cast powers to get 4 up invuln saves, like Sanctuary. They have lethal hits built into their profile, so if you really want to have them as a gun line, plus all of the weapons are free. So being able to bring an Apothecary and a Banner, which now they're OBSEC 3, which might be the only OBSEC 3 Terminator in the game. I'm not quite sure, but that's what we're gaining. So we're gaining an Apothecary that was 75 points that can bring a guy back every single turn for free. We're gaining a Banner that gives us OBSEC 3, which could still bring a Nemesis weapon as well. So you're not really losing anything out on that. Yeah, so having an Apothecary for free, 4 up invuln save, toughness 5, still being able to jump around and do gate and all that stuff. So 225 points. Up from 175. 50-point difference to basically add an Apothecary and Banner into the thing, as well as have built-in lethal hits. So going against vehicles, lethal hits automatically wounding on a 6. Not bad. Especially, I think, I'm not sure if it's just melee or bolters as well, but lethal hits on a OBSEC 3 Terminator that can bring a Librarian or Drago, I think is worth it. So that did go up. So if you want to spend an extra 50 points to potentially bring Terminators back every single turn as a free upgrade. So I think that's worth it. Crow, for what the fuck he does, is insane for 95 points. Crow, I think, was 85 points. So Crow went up 10 points, have his 2 up, 4 up, increases everybody's Purify Flame by 1 in the squad. So I'm always probably going to be testing out 10 Purify Flames. 18-inch range, ignore cover, 1 damage. If he gets 4 of his own shots, 18-inch range, ignore cover. What else does he have? He has something. Oh, and then if he dies, I think he can get back. Something like that. So Crow is 100% worth it. He's such a beat stick. He gets around psychic weapons because of his profile, or his Blade of Entoir. So that gets around psychic because it's not psychic. So he gets to come in and kind of kill some people without having a psychic weapon. Grandmaster, you can bring multiple Grandmasters now. So Grandmaster for 115 points, putting a side cannon, incinerator, or whatever the hell you want on him. Can't bring a Demon Hammer, which kind of sucks, but the Grandmaster before was 120, so it technically went down 5 points, but it's competing for all the other characters that you want to put in a Terminator unit. So Grandmaster, if you want to use it, you get 1 free strat. If you want to put them in like a 10-man unit, deep strike them and just use that 2 CP strat for free so you can't be shot at outside of 12. Nemesis Grandmaster Dreadnought went up, I believe, 10 points. So all the upgrades on our Grandmaster Dreadnought before was 160. He had the sword, which was 175, 185, 195, 205, 205, 215, 215 points. How much was a fucking Grandmaster? So Grandmaster was 160, plus 20 for the side cannon, plus 15 for the sword, plus 20 for the silencer. plus you brought the 3++ invuln save, so that was another, I think, 10 plus 20, so he was up to like 235 points. So 235 points for him to have 245 points. He's actually a big difference. So we're losing out on 10 points, and we would have to buy the sigil because it used to be, it used to be a was it a relic. So now we have to buy the sigil for 30 points, which most likely will be on another unit. But 245 points for the Grandmaster that hits on 3s now, and the hammer hits on 4s. He does have an insane thing where he gets to reroll all hits, wounds, and damage. So I'm still definitely going to test him out, but he cannot advance charge or fall back, shoot, and charge as well. So you have to try and remember that, where you can't do that, especially with the teleporter. Before, you used to spend 1 CP and be able to fall back, shoot, and charge. Now, can't do that. So make sure you remember that. But Grandmaster I'm going to be testing out because he still is good being able to spend 1 CP to not be shot at if he comes in from Deep Strike. So he is pretty tanky. And he's still just going to be able to destroy fucking monsters. Charging in for a tank assault or whatever that 1 CP strat is, doing potential 6 mortal wounds before you even get to attack. And then if you're attacking a monster or vehicle, you reroll literally everything. So hitting on 4 is not going to be crazy. And then wounding probably on 3s with full rerolls. And then damage is going to be nuts. D6 plus 1 with a reroll. So that's the Grandmaster. I think it's a little bit of an upgrade. I'm sorry, downgrade. So he went up like 10 points, 10 to 15, but you can still add the sigil for him for 30 points. So Grandmaster Voldus is potential to add into the army. He's like our only Demon Hammer on our Terminators that we can bring. He was 115. I never ran him before. He was 135 points. So him losing 20 points, but not being able to do all the seg powers that he was able to do before. You can bring him in any faction now. Before, you could only bring him in word bearers. Word something? I forget, dude. I've never ran it. So you can only bring him in the one Brotherhood. Now you can bring him in any list. So if you really like Voldus, like the model, I think I have 3 of them. You get to run him for 150 points. So that actually is pretty cheap for 150 points. Then we got the Land Raider. The Land Raider's 270 points. Everybody's talking about the Land Raider bringing Drago up with the Paladins, Terminators. Land Raider was 245 before with free upgrades. So 245 now, it's 270. 250 for the Crusader and 290 for the Redeemer. So they were all 245 before. So we definitely had a huge fucking difference. But the Redeemer has insane flamers. If you guys haven't seen the flamers on there, the 2 damage flamers, I think they're AP2, but 2d6, 46 flamers, I believe from 12 inches away. So nobody's really going to be charging it, and gets to move up and shoot and drop people off and charge. So whatever's inside moves up 10. They get out 3, 13-inch movement, and then they could charge. So they're basically moving 13 inches. If Drago's in there, it has an extra 3 inch. So technically, like a 16-inch move for fucking Drago, which is kind of nuts. So Drago with 5 Paladins or 5 Terminators in the Land Raider, definitely something to try out. 290 points for a really, really good weapon loadout, and I think it's toughness 12 or something. Like, it's really, really high toughness and hard to kill. I just definitely a good option. So all the upgrades are free, adding a Melta, missile, all that stuff on it already. So definitely free upgrades, free weapons. Razorback for 95 points went down. Razorback was, I believe, 110 points. 100 points before upgrades, but there's no upgrade. So it was 100 points for the Razorback. Now, with the Razorback going down points, as well as being able to let us fully reroll whatever it shoots at. So if somebody gets out of the Razorback and then they shoot a target, if you shoot that same target with the guys that are getting out, it's full rerolls the wound, which I think is the only one we have in the entire army that lets us reroll all the wounds. So that's definitely something to try out. It's 95 points, and if you wanted to put Interceptors or somebody inside, you can fit, I believe, 6 models, so 5 and a leader, to kind of hop out an extra 3 inches, move up, shoot, and charge, and then the Razorback can then move and then shoot something. So if the Razorback's behind a wall, Razorback moves back, or they get out first from the other side of the wall, Razorback backs up, shoots whatever they want to shoot, they then move up and shoot whatever they want to shoot to get full rerolls, and then they can charge something else. So that's a little thing where you can do where you move out, shoot something, full rerolls to wound, and then go charge something else on the other side. And then if you want somebody else can get into the Razorback, and then they can do it next turn. So I think for 95 points, that's a good vehicle to be testing out. Rhino stayed exactly the same. Rhino is kind of just a transport vehicle. It can hold 12 models now, so you can hold 10 and 2 characters. Grey Knights, Storm Raider, Interceptors. I'm going to skip these. I've never run them. I don't know if they're going to be worth it. Somebody let me know if you run these guys all the time and you're like, fuck yeah, these guys are worth it. Storm Raven, 265. Where was it before? I know I ran it once, but it still died because it had the flyer keyword. Storm Raven gunship was 265 points. So Storm Raven gunship, 160. That's Stormtown. 260. So 260 compared to 265. Definitely worth a shot. Getting all of the weapons for free is going to be awesome. It can transport a Venerable Dread and I believe 12 models. So it's kind of like having a mini Rhino. It moves 20 inches and then they can get out still. So you put it into hover mode. It's hiding behind the ruin, so it can't be shot at. It loses the fly keyword, but it still has the ability to move up 20 inches, drop off your 10 purifiers with Crow, drop off the reroll ones to hit and wound with your Venerable Dread, and then just blow something off the table. So I think that's going to be something really cool to try out. If you want to have super, super fast, aggressive army, it's actually pretty cheap for what it does. 265 points. Or have the Land Raider. So Land Raider or Storm Raven, one of those in the list is going to be fun. Then we got the Venerable Dread. I think this was a bullshit call. I wish it would have stayed 130 points because it has the same profile as a regular Dreadnought. So Dreadnought was 130 points, 135 with the multi-melta. It has the Venerable Dread points because the Venerable Dread was 155, but the Venerable Dread hit on 2s and still was able to do the 1 CP where you get to reroll 1s to hit and wound with everybody. Now it's just infantry. So you can only reroll 1s to hit and wound with infantry, and it's 155 points. It didn't really get anything else. It lost 1 attack to hit, so I think that was a downgrade for us. I still want to bring it because I really want those rerolls with our Purifier squad, but the extra 20-25 points I don't think was worth the Dread. So if it doesn't pan out for the rerolls 1s to hit and wound, I think I'm going to be dropping the Dread. I'm not going to be bringing the Dread unless it's 100% worth it to come in. Interceptor squad went up 30 points. So we lost out on 30 points. We lost out on... That's it. So what did we gain? We gained +1 to our save. So we now have a 2-up save and we have a built-in 6-inch move. So paying an extra 30 points for those 2 upgrades, it's about an extra 6 points a model. So 6 points a model to get 2+ save, as well as an extra 6-inch move on top of that. So that's actually an insane upgrade. So basically you could just move out, shoot, and then move back 6 inches behind a wall. It's a free 6-inch move the entire time. I might try a list with just 30 of these guys again, just to see kind of if you have the same play style. You run one Rhino with, it's different though, because they're 5 or 10 man units. You can't combat squad anymore. So 15 of these guys maybe. Yeah, I don't know if having 30 of these guys in 10-man squads is going to be worth it, because once they get down to 4 guys, you're going to have to do a combat attrition test every single turn. Combat attrition, battle shock test. So once you guys are below half, you have to do a battle shock every single time. So if we lose 5 of them or 6 of them in a turn, it's going to be rough. So maybe 15 of these guys I might try out in a Rhino, but I'm not sure if that's going to be worth it. The upgrade is definitely worth it. So having just them running around by themselves, 100% worth it. Being able to auto advance 6 and then still move if you spend 1 CP afterwards, it's kind of cool. Drago went down. He lost the 3-up invuln save, so this is kind of like a side grade for him. He went down about, he was 165 points. So, all right, he only went down 10 points, but he lost a 3-up invuln save. I think everybody and their mother would spend the 10 points for the 3+ invuln save. So Drago definitely had a downgrade. The difference they gave us was the 3+ charge. So +1 or +3 to 1s per game charge with him and his unit. So he comes in from Deep Strike or comes out of a... does he get it out of the Land Raider, or is it just when he comes in from Teleport Assault? I know he gets, usually you're going to bring him in from Teleport Assault, but getting the +3 to charge for Drago, I definitely think I would rather have the 3+ invuln save. Or just not take him altogether, because he lost out on the full rerolls to hit, He lost out on the 6-inch aura, rerolls to 1. And that's really it. Like, he's really good at killing demons, especially with the anti-demon 2+. But the only reason you're going to be bringing Drago now is for the +3 to charge out of Deep Strike. So I think Drago honestly is a downgrade. That's my honest opinion. I think Drago is a downgrade compared to what he did for us. He was a buffing unit. He used to cast 2 powers and knew 3 powers. So he's able to buff and Deep Strike other people twice a turn, give out full rerolls, and everything within 6 inches was reroll 1. So all the dreads was reroll 1. So yeah, he was a downgrade. So only bring Drago if you want to do the +3 to charge out of Deep Strike and hit really hard against demons. Then we got the Nemesis Dread Knight, went up a shit ton. So I was looking at my list before, it's about 180 points on average for the Dread Knights, bringing the swords. So all the swords, 185 points, 180 points for the hammers. That was with the free personal teleporter, which you can fall back, shoot, and charge, or spend 2 CP to shun across the table. So what did we get for this? You can basically deep strike them, 3 of them every single turn for free. You can advance and charge and shoot with them. So advance automatically 6 inches, so they're basically 14-inch movement dreadnoughts. You can also advance and charge. So advancing 14 inches, still being able to shoot, and be able to charge. So when you advance, you get fly. So you can fly over models, you can fly over certain height buildings, you can go up kind of like 4 or 5 inches, go vertical about 5 inches, and go back down like 4 inches. So you can kind of like go boom, boom, boom over stuff if you go over ruins. Or you can kind of like advance up a ruin if there's enough surface area to land your base on top, and then shoot down to get +1 AP. So 215 points, an extra 30 points to gain advance, shoot, and charge. I think it's worth it. I do think they're going to die though. Like, they are very, very squishy if they get shot. We do have strats to kind of keep them a little bit safe. The -1 AP shots, the not be shot at within 12 inches. That's 2 CP though, or the 1 CP where if you end your movement, consolidate or fall back within 9 inches of me, I get to get the fuck out of there. So let's say the Dread Knight charges something, you then fall back, and within 9 inches I'd spend 1 CP and take them off the table. And they ruled that if you come back on from Deep Strike, you can then come back from Deep Strike. You don't have to go into strategic reserves, which kind of boosts that strat even more. So Nemesis Dread Knight, if you bring 3 of them, that's 90 points extra for how much more points everything else went up. So Dread Knights went up. I think I would bring 1, maybe 2. 2 definitely if you're not bringing the Grandmaster Dread Knight, but 1 and then 1 with the Grandmaster Dread Knight, or 2 and no Master Dread Knights. So Paladin Squad, 255 points for a 5-man with a free banner. You cannot bring an Apothecary, which kind of sucks. I don't know why they did that. Bringing back a free Paladin would be fucking awesome. They gained +1 to hit in Ballistic skill. So they stayed +1 to hit in melee, but they lost. No, they gained. They basically kept the same. Hit on 2s in melee, hit on 2s in shooting. They gained the hit on 2s in shooting because they didn't have that before. They also, I believe, lost an attack. So I think they had 5 attacks before. Now they only have 4, which is weird. Their toughness 5, 2 up, 4 up. So that's a bonus. But 255 points compared to... And also you can bring more weapons. So the Ancient can bring a heavy weapon. And then you have 2 heavy weapons in the squad as well. So basically you're looking at 3, 4 heavy weapons. And if you bring one of the Grandmasters or a Brother Captain, you can also bring another heavy weapon. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4 heavy weapons in a squad. Shooting is pretty lethal. So 255 points compared to Paladin Squad, 45 points. So 45 times 5, 225. So only an extra 30 points. 30 points we gained. A 4-up invuln save, +1 toughness, and adding an extra heavy weapon plus hitting on 2. So I think that is a bonus upgrade for the Paladin Squad. They're only OPSEC 1. They gain OPSEC 2 with the banner, which most of the time you're going to be adding for free, and the free weapons. So hitting on 2s, shooting on 2s, and what else? Oh, and I think they're -1 to wound or something. Like they have a defensive thing on them, which makes them super tanky. So that is a upgrade for the Paladin squad. Now, comparing them to bringing one Terminator back every single turn, that's the gimmick. Is I'd rather have the, hey, here's a free Terminator every single turn, rather than hitting on 2s to shooting. So that's really the difference. I get +1 OBSEC, same stats with attacks. They only hit on 3s though with the Terminators, but they have lethal hits. They lose 2 additional weapons, but they're more versatile when it comes to being there longer, I would say. So that's the difference between Terminator squad, Paladin squad. Purgation squad can now shoot out of line of sight, 165 points. We have Purgation squad before as heavy support right here. 22 points a model. 22, I think it's 110 points. 110 compared to 165. Holy shit. Okay, so that's a huge fucking difference. So we have 55 point difference from the Purgation squad before, same free weapons, to now. Ignoring cover with the flamers is cool. Shooting 24 inches away for the out of line of sight side cannons is cool, but I'm not sure if it's worth 50 points difference. What can you bring for? You can bring an Interceptor squad instead. You can bring 165 points. You can bring Drago instead. Or a Purifier squad. I probably would have a Purifier squad over a Purgation squad. They could bring 2 flamers themselves anyway. They don't ignore out of line of sight shooting, but at least they have an additional shot with a psychic weapon. I got to test that out. I got to see if 5 Purgation is worth it to bring over a Purify squad. So I'll test it out, let you guys know in the upcoming videos. But I think for a 50 point difference, 55 point difference, they did gain out of line of sight shooting, but we got to see. So, I mean, you'll be able to kind of deep strike behind a wall, shoot, ignoring cover. And then if they charge you, you still get to shoot because you still ignore the out of line of sight as long as somebody else sees that model. So yeah, that might be worth it. Just a flank kind of flamer some chaff twice. Strength 6, AP 1, 1 damage, 46 shots. So we'll test it out. Purifier, fucking amazing. What did they get? Purifier squad, 23 points a model. 23 times 5, math. We're at 115 points compared to 150 points. So Purifier squad for 150 points. They are one of the only psychic shots that we have in the army. Adding Crow, they get 2 shots each. Anti-infantry 2+, and -1 ignore cover. So 18-inch range, which is ridiculous. So 18-inch range, 150 points, went up 35 points. So 35-point upgrade. They get +1 to their cover save. They have the only other additional shots that you have in the army. And they have a cool, unique thing where if you are below starting strength, you hit on 2s. So if you kill one guy in the squad, now the entire squad hits on 2s. If you are below half strength, you then get +1 to wound as well, I believe. So that is a cool, insane late game squad that you should definitely be full for. So that is a upgrade for the Purify squads. Servitors 50 points. They went up 20 points. Don't think that's worth it. The extra 50 points for 4 models. Free weapons. So maybe just having 4 models in the back, just doing actions. Not being able to shoot, but walk up, put a banner down, and then next turn being able to shoot some plasma cannons. Maybe. I mean, what else did they gain? They gained 2 movements, so they're actually pretty quick. Their toughness 4, 4 up save, 1 wound, leadership 8, obsec 0. So they don't even count as objective models. And that's it. They have 6 of invuln save, so they gain an invuln. That's pretty cool. And then you can bring up to 2 servitors for free. Can have their servitor arms replaced with one of the following. So plasma cannons, multi-melters, and heavy bolters. So basically, if you just bring servitors for 50 points and have 2 plasma cannons shooting from 36 inches away, they only damage 2. Or heavy bolters, 3 attacks each, hitting on 4s. Strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage. So just kind of random +1 to hit with heavy. So heavy blast. D3 shots, hitting on 3s if you don't move. Strength 8, -3, 2 damage. So hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, -3, 2 damage. Yeah, so I think definitely the heavy bolter and plasma cannon just kind of like walk up, do an action, and the next 2-3 turns, if they want to waste shots going into these guys, they can. But yeah, 50 points, I think that's an upgrade for them, definitely. And this is going to be a weird thing because you can't add single models anymore. So if you have an extra like 5-10 points, you're just screwed on 5 to 10 points. So you kind of have to rearrange your list a little bit. But if you have an extra 50 points, you're like, hey, you know what? I got 50 points. Let me just throw in one of these servitor units and bring 2, heavy fucking plasma cannons shooting super far away and just overcharge because fuck it, why not? Strike squads, 135 points. What did they gain? A shit ton. This is a huge upgrade for us. So I think they were 100 points even last time. That's Terminator, strike squad. Yeah, so they were 100 points even. But this time they're scout 6, so they get to move up 6 inches. They have sticky objectives. And they have a 2-up save. So kind of insane. They're going to be able to pre-game move 6 inches in your command phase. You own it. You can then, on the enemy player's turn, you can then pick them up and deep strike them somewhere else, and then kind of get sticky objectives on another objective. So I want to do a 10-man Purify squad, strike squad with Brotherhood Champion, getting the fight first ability, and the sigil. So if you want to kind of pick them up and then deep strike them within 3 inches of somebody, kind of surrounding some tanks, rhinos, transports, block them in, shoot some random bolters, flamers, whatever you got, and then if they charge you, you are fight first. If they come within 9 inches and you don't want to get charged, you then just kind of teleport away. If they shoot at you, you just teleport away. So there's a lot of different gimmicks to that one squad, but for 270 points, for able to do that is kind of awesome. So 300 points to add the sigil to that squad with the Brotherhood Champion, I think is definitely an upgrade. 2+ save, everything else stays the same. All having weapons or 2 flamers is awesome. So let's go over these. We have first of the fray, 35 points just to come in turn 1. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. You have to really plan your list around it. So coming in turn 1 with 1 CP, you can combine that with the core strat, or just being able to come in turn 1 via deep strike. So let's say you don't go first. At the end of the opponent's movement phase, you can spend 1 CP and deep strike that unit in turn 1 behind ruin or cover or whatever. If you do go first, you can just deep strike them in behind a ruin or cover and then do whatever you got to do. Or you can't add it to a Drago squad because he can't add any upgrades, but it lets you have a Librarian. Librarian comes in with the first of the fray with, I don't know, 5-man Paladin squad or 5-man Terminator squad. But you spend 1 CP to come in within 3 inches. And then you fucking do some mortal wounds, do some crazy shit. And then you get the fuck out of there if they move within 9 inches of you for the other strat that we have. So first of the fray, if you want to get a super crazy turn 1 bomb going and maybe potentially kill a character. I know you can't kill it with Vortex Doom. You can only kill it with a shot. I think a shot is only 1 shot, 3 damage. Yeah, so you're not going to be able to kill a character turn 1 most of the time, but the Vortex of Doom might do some damage to a vehicle or a unit. So, Inescapable Wrath. What the hell are we putting that on? So, the unit, let's say it's a Brother Champion or anybody, they're going to get 1 to advance and charge rolls. So that's going to help coming in at a deep strike. If you want to bring a Libby with that, you can at least come down, try and get an 8-inch charge after you try and blow them up. That's one option. Putting it on a Grandmaster, putting it on not a Chaplain, fuck you Chaplain, Brotherhood Champion, maybe a Brotherhood Champion with a Strike Squad, but I like the other combo better. Brother Captain with the Terminator Squad. Yeah, I mean 15 points, it's just extra, so just to be able to have an extra 15 points, just throw that on there. I wish there was something that we can add for like 5 points. Anything, because there's probably gonna be a lot of lists that have an extra 5 points. And the sigil, 30 points, which is one-time use. Same with First of the Fray. But that extra 30-point upgrade, just to be like, hey, you can't shoot this unit, is kind of insane. So it's not a relic. Basically just you can put it on anybody now, not just a Grandmaster Dreadnought. So having that on another squad, and then the Grandmaster being able to spend 1 CP, not be shot at, is kind of like a combo move. So you can't shoot my Grandmaster outside of 12 inches for 1 CP, and then you can't shoot at this squad at all, or they just get the fuck out of there. So super excited to try that. That is definitely an upgrade for us. So overall, guys, I think you just have to play around with the lists and really figure out what's your play style. Do you want to be super aggressive, come down turn 1, use Drago, get that charge in turn 2, have a couple Librarians coming in at the same time, do Purifier spam, do 15 Interceptors, kind of get across the table. Do you want to do the 3 Dreadnoughts again, or 4 Dreadnoughts, or 6 Dreadnoughts? I think having 3 Nemesis Dreadnought Grandmasters is super expensive, and that being able to be shot at and die might be worth a test. I mean, we have the fucking models, might as well test it anyway. I might throw up some crazy fucking list videos on the channel soon. But the list that I'm going to be running is, I went over it with one of my Grandmasters earlier today. The list is going to be Crow, 10 Purifiers, 4 Flamers or 4 Side Cannons, haven't decided yet. Nemesis, Hammer, Demon Dreadnought, sorry. I'm just trying to read off his list. So it's a Dreadnought with a Hammer and Flamer Side Cannon, Grandmaster with a Hammer, Flamer, Side Cannon, Strike Squad, 10 of them with 2 Flamers, Brotherhood Champion to go in that squad with the Sigil, and then we got Strike Squads times 5, so another Strike Squad unit, Terminator Squad with Apothecary. Do I want to add the Side Cannons or Flamers? Probably do we set Flame? I'm going to try Flamers. So we have 1 Flamer and then 1 Flamer on the banner. Then we have Drago going with the Terminator Squad. We have a solo Librarian. We had an extra 20 points, so you can bring the Dominik, the 20-point upgrade on him. And then the Calidus Assassin is 115 points. Calidus Assassin, what does it bring to the table? Is it brings anytime somebody uses a stratagem, you can increase that stratagem for the rest of the game by 1. So anytime it does a reroll to hit, wound, charge, advance, whatever it may be, they do that. You're like, hey, guess what? That now costs 1 extra CP for the rest of the game. And now that we start with 0 CP, and every turn or every phase every player's turn we get 1 CP, it's going to be really expensive for them to either reroll save, which they probably won't, or reroll charges. Against World Eaters, when they reroll one of their charges, you're just going to be like, hey, guess what? Every time you reroll charge now, it's going to cost 2 CP. So having that Calidus Assassin, sticking her in the back field, blocking out deep strikes until you spend that 1 CP strat. Once you use it, you can then pick her up, put her into reserves, deep strike, and then deep strike her in somewhere else to try and get a shot off with precision and get that charge off. So she is going to be deadly, I think, for 115 points. Spending 115 points to increase somebody's stratagems and get some precision character killing off is going to be cool. That one, or the Colexus Assassin. The Colexus Assassin, we're bringing it in with us because it affects enemy psychers now, not just all psychers, and him going against other psychers doing 6 damage with precision is kind of fucking insane. So he's nuts. That's going to help our offensive ability, being able to kill other psychers with their 4+ mortal wound saves against psychic weapons. So all of our weapons are psychic, so if we get into combat with a unit and they have a 4 fucking mortal wound save or feel no pain save, that's going to be super annoying. So having somebody to combat that is going to be good to try and tech towards. So either trying out both assassins or exchanging one of these assassins for the other. The Wiederkehr is really cool. It's just so up in the air when it comes to the once per game shot that you don't get any save whatsoever. I think throughout the game he's just going to be super scary to try and deal with, and just every single turn getting 1 shot. But most of the time re-rolling or rolling a 3 to wound is what's going to be his crutch. If he had auto wound infantry or something on a 2+, he'd be a lot deadlier. But let's say you roll 2+ to wound and then you have to spend a CP to re-roll that to wound anyway. So it's going to be strength 7. You're going to wound most stuff on 3s. Some stuff you might even wound on 5s to try and kill it. So it's I got to test him out. He's such a cool character and model, but I think the Calidus Assassin or the Calyxus Assassin for us Grey Knights is going to be something to try out. So that's going to be the list. Let me know what you guys think about the points changes. I know first day when it first came out, I was in Atlantic City Open, so I wasn't able to go full deep dive into it. But with how much we gained this edition, it's kind of worth it. You kind of see why they had to increase everything. If you want to go more infantry spam and get rid of all the dreads, I definitely think having something to deal with tanks, either ignoring them and just trying to play for the secondary is going to be our game. Really, I don't think we're going to be the ones that just kind of go forward and kill everything that we touch. It's going to be more of like coming in from deep strike all over the table, stealing objectives, strikes, having sticky objectives, and kind of just doing the you can't catch me game plan compared to just like running in, fighting to fucking death in melee, and then that's it. So we're going to be super strong against shooting armies, I think, and we're going to be super strong against melee armies because we just get to trade spots with them. If they're running across the table, we're then hopping behind them and stealing their side of the objectives over there. So that's going to be, I think, our game plan. We've just got a lot more tactics coming up, so if you guys are interested, definitely head over to Discord. But Patreons, that's kind of the place to be. These are getting posted up first on Patreon, and if you guys are into the competitive scene, competitive dirtbags is the way to go. Grandmasters, if you want the one-on-one training, TTS games, tactics, list ideas, and all that stuff, that'll be the Grandmaster. But the competitive dirtbags, you get one-on-one coaching with me, and any questions anytime whatsoever, always ask me on Discord, because that's kind of why I'm here, to help you guys out and grow the channel. We're going to be giving away a lot of raffles coming up on Patreon. We have 2 old school strike boxes I found at ACO that I was able to pick up. We're going to be giving those to our patrons, as well as the combat patrol, the boarding party, the boarding patrol. That box has basically everything you need to start a Grey Knight army. We're going to be doing some prints, 3D prints for models like Mortarion, Crow, and some other Grey Knight stuff, as well as some basically all the armies that we play. I want to have something available for a lot of Patreons, giving away dice, stickers, all that fun stuff. That's going to be coming up once we hit 500 Patreons a month. So we're really close. We're about to do that, and then I'll do a live stream with all you guys exclusively to give away some free shit. So appreciate all you guys. Thanks for clicking on the video. More to come. I'm going to do 3 more videos if my fucking voice doesn't give out, because I yelled a lot playing craps at ACO. So good luck, and we'll see you in another video soon.